Today's a good day for a lot of us, especially for my wife Ali, because our guest today is Miss Ingrid Monserrat, creator and owner of Maria Cruz Plant-Based Cuisine. So thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Before we get started, I'm gonna show you a clip. This is an episode of one of our a clip of one of our episodes from like a few months ago, and let's see if it comes out here real quick.
Maria Cruz.
Let's see.
Waitress that I've had has been
We're
awesome.
talking about food here.
There's always people there at East Ocean. What about you, baby? What's your favorite place?
If I want to feel like not terrible, I like Maria Cruz. It's plant-based, but
So that was Ali saying that Maria Cruz is her favorite local restaurant in the valley.
I love you, Ali.
That's what we do. We talk about like local stuff, like support local and all that. So you're her favorite place. So she's been wanting to have you. We've all been wanting to have you on for a long time. And we're here to talk about your restaurant. Do you say Maria Cruz or how do you say it?
Yes, Maria Cruz.
Okay, all right. We'll honor that. Maria Cruz Plant-Based Cuisine. Honestly, the way that we found your restaurant was by accident. Like we were driving through downtown, and I was looking for another place called the Healing Factory, right? And I was like, where is this place? And I was looking for it because I heard that they have good juice, and I was like, I just want a good juice, man. I don't want to get like something from HEB that has like 600 milligrams of sugar or something. I want something real. But I never found it. But I found this place called Maria Cruz, and I was like, "What is this?" We didn't know it was vegan or anything. I guess it was smart. I don't know if you want to say marketing, but really didn't know until we looked more into the menu, and we were like, "Wait, like this is a little bit different. Like this says that it's vegan. It says plant based." So tell us about your restaurant. Like, what is Maria Cruz? What's the vision behind it?
So Maria Cruz Cuisine is 100% plant-based restaurant / juice bar. We serve anything from breakfast menu, brunch items, lunch, anything from avocado toast, your traditional one, all the way to street tacos, enchiladas, sopes, pastas. But everything, of course, it's 100% plant-based.
Okay, that's cool. And you meant like everything you said is like all the big Mexican like
Yes.
famous dishes. So you really went like for the jugular. Like you really hit I can imagine it must have been a challenge to recreate these dishes. What was that like?
So it was challenging. What was really challenging was to convince people that, you can turn absolutely any dish from your traditional, animal protein dish into a plant-based creation, and it can taste exactly the same thing, minus the cholesterol, minus, animal cruelty, minus all of that extra stuff that nowadays we don't need, to cause as much harm anymore, just because there's so many alternatives now. So that has always been our goal, right? Just to cause the least amount of harm overall, not only to ourselves, to our bodies, but also the animals, the environment. So it's a lifestyle, I would say, the whole plant-based topic, right? So it goes hand by hand by all these three things that I just mentioned. So that's always been our purpose, right? Like to increase our health, to live a better lifestyle, and to cause the least amount of harm into everything around us.
Okay, and that makes me wonder. I was going through your website and I saw like in several parts of the website like a quote. It says we can make any carnivore a believer.
Yes, that's our slogan. We turn any carnivore into a believer.
Okay, tell us about that. Like how do you do that?
So just like you mentioned right now, well, I am from Mexico, so that's why all of the dishes are basically Mexican-based dishes, like you mentioned, the tacos, gorditas, enchiladas, sopes, empanadas, all of that, and it's because
the good stuff,
all the good stuff, and that's because I'm from over there, so the dishes are based off of that, and so once I started recreating all of these dishes and realizing that it's like, oh my gosh, this tastes exactly the same thing. recreating them wasn't as hard because I am a vegan myself. So these are dishes that I had tried at home or that I created myself back in the day. And it was just a matter of evolving them into a flavor and taste and a presentation where it would be, attractive to an older crowd or people that would normally have the perception that a vegan lifestyle or a plant-based lifestyle is like your typical Caesar salad, And when you say vegan or plant-based, people are like, I don't know about that, because they always have like that image, I think, I think like the first thing that comes to their mind is that Caesar salad that everybody has gotten before. And so you always get the jokes, like, ooh, you're going to eat that rabbit food or this and that. It's like, no, let me show you this rabbit food.
Oh, okay, I see.
So it was more of like a challenge, like, hey, we can do this. And I'm going to prove to, you guys that this diet, this lifestyle, it's going to taste exactly the same. It's going to be delicious. It's, you're really going to like it. And then in the end, you won't even know that it's vegan. So that's always our goal. I was mentioning earlier how the girls that stop by and tell me the stories like, hey, I brought my dad in, or I brought my uncle who's like hardcore carnivore. And I don't tell them that it's vegan, or I don't tell them that it's, plant-based foods. And then they try it. And then in the end, I'm like, hey, did you know that this was vegan? And everybody's impressed. Like, what? Like, what did I just have? Or what did I just eat? And then it's like a new perception that they have. So that's my whole goal. Like, give people the ability to open their minds into a new, lifestyle or new foods through the foods that we serve. So maybe I can not convince you to fully, go vegan or plant-based, but at least you've already opened your mind into trying something new that you normally wouldn't have tried before if someone would probably told you that it was vegan,
So that begs a question. But before I ask that question, you mentioned that like you grew up in Mexico. You mentioned that you eat plant-based yourself, that you're vegan yourself. So was this like a lifelong thing? Like, did you grow up eating plant-based? Was it like a family thing?
No. So my mom's side of the family, my grandpa is a cattle rancher, so
Oh my God.
we grew up, going to the ranch, milking the cows. And I can tell you, it's not that I'm against, the animal protein lifestyle or carnivore lifestyle or anything like that. Like I said, we lived off of that, through, my grandpa would help out my mom or, but I'm more against like factory farming, right? It's just completely different to what I grew up with, seeing like, cattle's being raised since they were little, free range. It's just not the same systems, right? So I grew up with that. My dad is from Reynosa and my mom is from Tabasco. So Tabasco is 7 hours away from Cancun, just so people can get like an idea.
Okay.
7 hours south of Cancun.
I'm learning too.
Yeah, so about 16 hours, south of Reynosa. So my dad's from the north, my mom is from the south, and I was born in Veracruz. So I wasn't even born in Tabasco or Reynosa. I was born in Veracruz,
That's on the
Mexico.
coast, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So I'm a costeñita girl.
Okay.
And so I have the mixture of both cultures, like the norteño and the sureño culture. So in the south side, you have Tabasco, of course, where I'm from. You have Veracruz. You have the center of we're influenced by Oaxaqueñan food, food from Puebla, food from Mérida, food from Yucatan, and all of that is also influenced by Caribbean food, from Central America, South America. So it's such a cultural amount of foods. I don't know if you've ever been to Mexico, but like some of the best foods in Mexico exist in like Puebla, in Mérida, like Tabasco. It's just delicious, flavorful foods filled with animal protein. So I needed to create dishes, right, that contain and consist of the same flavors and are rich in, seasoning and spices and all of this, because that's really what flavors, the animals. It's like the seasons and spices, which are all made out of plants. So, you know what I mean? So that's how I started like cooking. And of course, like my mom cooks delicious foods. Maria Cruz is my grandma. So the dishes all come from, her.
That's her name? That's where the name comes from?
Yes. So the name
Okay.
comes from my grandma. So she teaches my mom. My mom didn't even have to teach me. It was just like a matter of growing up. And my mom always cooked for us. She always taught us, juicing is good. She would buy those magazines with, lose diabetes, like to fight diabetes, to fight like cholesterol, to fight like gut health, like anything to heal you through juices. Like she would always buy those magazines. And then my dad is from El Norte, carne asadas every weekend, machacado, barbacoa.
On Sunday
with the Coke. And so I was seeing how a lot of my family members on both sides have health issues because of the diet and the lifestyle that they live. So my parents, they never really, even though my mom would do like yoga, I mean, not yoga, like Zumba or jogging every now and then, it wasn't like they implemented those like exercising values or those like, my mom, I mean, she was always giving us healthy foods. Like that's probably where I learned like, okay, this is good and this is bad, or you shouldn't eat this or you shouldn't that. Thank God she never bought us like, she was really against like the processed foods like cereals and just like the hummus that even though it says it's like mango and then you turn around and it's like 5% juice, 95%, sugar. So I guess I grew up the way I am because of that, so I have both of the cultures. I know both of the flavors. And so that's where I formulated the menu that we have now, just from my own personal experience and growing up in both places, growing up in the valley. It's like completely different. So it's like southern foods from the north. And then you come to the valley. I came to the valley when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
My dad brought us over here. Security reasons, Mexico, even though it's beautiful and full of, life and nature and everything, unfortunately, it's still very not as secure and safe. Maybe back in the day, because right now it's actually, it's getting pretty good, but back in the day, it was really tough to live over there. So our parents brought us over here. I'm the oldest of two siblings. So it's me, and then it's two other girls, and I'm 5 years apart from the second one. So I've always been like independent and on my own and just like figuring it out because my mom just started, looking after my sisters. So that's how I developed, I guess, the habit of just looking out for myself and just doing and building and creating and that's how I formulated, or that's how I grew up the way I am, and maybe why I am the way I am now.
That's cool. Yeah. So that's how you got to who you are today. So let me ask you then. And I was thinking originally that it would have, I mean, it's a challenge because you're dealing with Mexican food. Like the flavor in the food is like, a lot of people don't want, like, I'm not going to give up my bistec or whatever, like people that are like diabetic and they just have such a hard time because it just tastes so good. I was thinking that was a challenge for you, but it probably helped that you grew up with all those flavors because you have a better sense of what it's supposed to taste like, right?
It's crazy because I mean, the people that have worked with me for like the past 7 years, they're very impressed because I literally come up with like an entire menu and I don't try nothing. Like I just know it's good. Like it's like I taste everything in my mouth, like before, and I'm like, okay, this tastes good. Like, so I'll formulate an entire menu without like even trying it. And then like months pass by, and then I don't know, like it's like a extra dish that we made that they didn't pick up, or just, what, let me try this. Like, oh my God, this is so good.
Trying your own stuff.
So everybody's impressed. Or like I'll formulate, like I'll have, a dinner event the next day, and I'll show up that same day. It's like, okay, and the girls are like, what are we making? It's like, hold on, let me come up with it. Like, okay, we got it,
You haven't even made the menu.
I have the,
That's awesome.
I have that gift.
Yeah, that is a gift.
Of the flavors, and yeah.
Because that's like science, man.
I'm
like
formulating.
combining everything.
Yes.
There's two flavors, like you could put them together and it makes like a different
Yeah.
like twist, like a different
Yes.
different twang.
So
Let me ask you then, have your parents and like your family, have they tried your food?
oh
Like,
yes,
what do they
yes.
say about
They
it?
love
Because
it.
they're like carnivores, right? Like
Oh
they,
yeah, no, they love it. Like they complete. Like in the beginning, there. I mean, even myself. Like in the beginning, I mean, I would eat I don't know, onions, like saute onions and mushrooms, like almost every day, just because I didn't know what else to eat. You know.
Oh
So
yeah.
it was like a whole process. And back in the day, we didn't have as many alternatives as we do now. So now you can go to Sprouts, you can go to HEB, you can go to like any store, even Costco, Walmart, like Sam's. They have plant-based meats, they have plant-based chicken, they have plant-based something. So it's beautiful to see how everything has evolved. When back in the day, we were the first vegan slash juice bar, like full-on restaurant to like pop up here in the valley.
Really?
And back in the day, there wasn't many options. So that's the reason why I started doing what I was doing. Besides the fact that I was going from like career to career to career to career, and I had like it just wasn't my flow. And I moved back from Monterrey, and my dad's like, "Hey, like, what are you gonna do? Try to go back to school, doing marketing business." I probably did like one semester, and I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna do school anymore. I had a hard time passing math. So
Oh, okay.
that's
Me
one of the
too.
reasons why I was like, you know what? I don't think school's for me anymore. Like after just trying, to make it happen. And I was going through my own like personal, I guess, like healing and like figuring out what it is that I was wanted out of life. And I wasn't doing anything. And I was working on myself. Like I was super depressed. I had anxiety. I had anger, like mood swing issues. It was just like a bad time, and I was like, you know what, I need to take time for me. I'm gonna heal, I'm gonna juice. I lost 32 pounds, just learning, reading from YouTube, from books. So that's why I jumped on this journey, because it was just like a self thing that I did. It worked for me. And then I was like, okay, what do I do? Like, I'm not doing anything with my life. And I read this book, and this book says like, okay, if you're not doing anything with your life, create a business out of something that people are coming to you the most for. And at that time, because I was losing so much weight, like I lost 32 pounds in like a month and a half.
Oh my
Like it was
gosh.
incredible, just through detoxing, fasting, juicing, plant-based lifestyle, exercising. So if you want to change your life, fast at least one day. Like you're going to feel so, so good. Like so, so good. Thank me later.
With fasting.
With fasting, yeah.
Okay.
But it's not just like step one is like detox, like fast, like for sure. But then you have to like implement. It's like a mixture of it's like a formula, like good eating habits, like good mental habits, and good physical habits, like mind, body, soul. So like exercising, mindful meditation, like just clearing your head, like releasing all the junk, right? And then you focus on like your body and exercising in that. And then that goes along with your eating habits. So as long as you're doing all these three things, you're going to live a really good, long, healthy life.
Okay.
So I started doing it. People were coming to me like, what are you doing? Well, I'm juicing. And then my aunt is like, hey, can you open an account for me? Because I want to open an account in the US, and it's going to be, she gave me $1,500, right? And at that time, people were like, hey, I want a juice, So I'm like, Aunt, I need this money for an investment. Like, I'm going to get a cold press machine. And so I started selling, juices out of my house, delivering them. Then the Healing Factory comes about.
And they were selling. The juices were selling.
Oh, yeah. Because people saw the change in me.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
You were the product.
I was the product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they saw how much weight I lost, and I was like, hey,
Can't argue with that.
you can't. I mean, if you do it and people see it, it was like a crazy transformation. So it's like people need to have access to this. Like it heals you, arthritis, gut, like anything, acid reflux, anything from your gut healing, anything like digestive tract, acne, mental illness, like anything like depression, anxiety was gone, and I just felt extremely vibrant, filled with energy. The acne was gone. I had so much like energy that I would feel like my cells literally like tingle. And I'm like, man, like this is it. Like I'm waking up early, I'm exercising. Like it was just like a full on lifestyle. And I was like, people need to know about this because hello, we're in the valley. We're still like top 1, if not top 3 in diabetes, heart disease. And not only that, it's like now the children are also growing up with the same habits that the parents had. So it's kind of like a cycle that if you don't change it and you don't show, that you can actually change and prove it to people and influence them, in that positive aspect of change, of growth, of, just taking care of yourself. Because ultimately, we always like give. And especially as women, we're just always like taking care of everything. And the last thing that we take care of is ourselves. But if we only knew that if we take care of ourselves first, then we have all these, like we have energy, we have health, we can give more to others.
Oh, okay.
So, you know what I mean?
You just got to invest in yourself.
You got to invest in yourself first. It's like the whole like cup pouring, like you can't fill another cup if yours is not, filled, because you're going to over pour and you're going to stay empty. So
but we do it anyway.
Yeah. So then the Healing Factory starts, the pandemic hits. It wasn't sustainable anymore. Financially, we had to close down.
So that's what happened to the Healing Factory.
That's what happened to the Healing Factory.
Okay. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have, a lot of people know about
everybody misses it. I don't think I realized like the shock of, oh my goodness, like my long 5-year project. It's just closing from like one day to another. It was just like shocking. It was a crazy transition. How we left, like everything, it was just like just crazy situation.
Yeah. Let me just for the for our listeners, and actually, as like I was telling her earlier, we found Maria Cruz by accident, but that's because I was looking for the Healing Factory, and Google gave me that address. I was going because I wanted to try some of the juices that you had.
Right.
I had just recently been diagnosed with a chronic illness, and I just wanted to try something healthy. Weren't plant-based, weren't vegan, it's not none of my family is anyway, but I just wanted juice. But anyway, we found the Healing Factory, but it wasn't the Healing Factory. So I never actually got to try it. Like I never went to a place that said the Healing Factory, but I always wondered what happened to it.
Yeah.
So like during that time, like you said, the pandemic, like the shutting down and all that stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah. Cause one of my coworkers at the hospital, they also told me like, I don't know what happened to that place. So I'm sure a lot of people were wondering like what's going on.
So since we closed so fast and it was just like sudden, we redirected, like on my Google listing, we redirected everybody and put the new address for Maria Cruz.
So that's what happened to me.
So so if people were still looking for the Healing Factory, they would still find us, but at Maria Cruz, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're like slowly transitioning brands, but it's the same thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I didn't want to name it the Healing Factory because it's just like two different things. Maria Cruz has a full-on kitchen concept. It's like a full-on restaurant. And the Healing Factory was more raw foods, healing juices, oatmeal, more like on a whole foods healing side. And Maria Cruz, even though it still has a bunch of whole foods, like gluten-free and like extremely like healthy, fresh products, we also have the tacos, the sopes, which has the masa, so it's not whole foods, but it's still good and healthier than the traditional one that is like, soaked in like frying oil or,
because you don't do that stuff.
We don't do that. No.
So what inspired, of course you mentioned that like the Healing Factory, part of it was just like the business wasn't working, but like what inspired the transition to Maria Cruz, like to the type of like you said, the different type of food? Like why did that happen?
Well, I've always wanted a full kitchen. That was always the dream, right?
Even before
the Healing Factory. The Healing Factory was like a stepping stone into Maria Cruz, which was like my full-on dream. Like Maria Cruz is what I've always wanted.
That was always the goal then.
Maria Cruz was always the goal, right? But I miss the healing. Like I miss it so much because that's where I would get creative with like the juices and become like a juice alchemist and so
throw a piece of lemon.
It's like you can explore more with like just random recipes, right?
That's true. Yeah.
But not only that, like I've always been a fan of whole foods. Like that's my purpose. That's like my whole thing. Like I want people to taste all of this, like the power of plants, the power of fruits, the power of vegetables, of herbs, of whole foods, like your body, I always tell everybody, like, how can you like convince someone like to just try it? So your body is,
People are stubborn. We are stubborn.
yeah,
Not people.
and
We're all
it's
stubborn.
it's just cultural. Like even myself, like and you get stuck in a habit for such a long time that it's so hard to break it. Like even for myself, like just the past, I mean, 3 years, like since the pandemic, it's just been like what the heck happened? Like where did all the time go? Like what? It's just been crazy, right? So like I said, you have to, you know, you have to like promise yourself, and you have to just like sit down and like with yourself and like and come clear, like, hey, I'm not feeling good, you know, my gut is feeling this way, like I'm getting headaches, you know, I'm overweight, my fingers hurt, you know. Once your body's already telling you hello, like asking and like bugging you, it's because like you need to pay attention to it. Like, why wait until your body's like yelling? Like right now, it's like poking you, and it starts poking you with little tummy ache, and it starts just like, hey, you know, like listen to me, like something's off with a little headache or with a little pain, or you know. So why wait until your body's like yelling at you with like a chronic illness, you know, or now you already have the acid just like building up, or you have like digestive tract issues, or you have arthritis, or you have like, God forbid, like cancer or like tumors, you know. So why wait until you're there? And why don't you just start healing yourself like now, you know? Why don't you do prevention? Like, and people are like, well, plant-based and veganism and this like healthy lifestyles are so expensive. Like, no, like, you know, what's expensive? Like getting in an ambulance, going to a hospital, especially without insurance, you know? Like you don't want to be in that situation.
In
like,
America. Yeah.
In America, like, you know what I mean?
We all know that stuff.
So why get to that point when it's so easy? You can just prevent it. Like I'm a living proof that your body can change. Like I've been running and exercising for like the past 10, 12 days. And it's probably like the most consistent I've been in the past like 3-4 years. Like I'm like I said, it's so hard to get back on track. But once you get back on track, once you get up and you get, you know, you start jogging and running, and then you get like the little runner's high, and you're like, I feel so good. Like where have this, you know? So it's building your confidence again, like right, eating good. Like it starts with eating good and exercising and like being yourself again, you know, and like feeling happy again and being able to feel good so that you can give all this goodness to everybody around you. Like people sometimes like, why are you always so happy? Like, why are you so energized? Like, why do you like, you know, and people see you like that, and people crave that because that's your natural state. You know what I mean?
They want you around and they want to be like that. Yeah.
Because that's who you truly are too.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
how we
I
should be
mean?
anyway.
That's how everybody should be, right? So you see someone like living their full life, and you're, you know, you te agüitas, you know, because they're like, dude, like, why? Like, I want to feel that way too. It's like, okay, then do the work.
Let's get started.
You know, let's get started.
That's
do
true.
the work. Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
you know what I mean? So it's always up to you. And like I said, we live in a super weird area where I've heard before, like we're like in this like bubble that people cannot read us. Like they cannot like
We're our own like type.
we're our own little world here. It's so crazy.
That's
but
true.
but it's so awesome because community's so powerful here. Like there's so many communities for everything. Like anything you want, there's going to be a community here, and people know each other, and it's so awesome. So word gets spread around. So if you see Ingrid lost, you know, 32 pounds doing this juice diet, like people want it, you know? So it all started with that, and it evolved into what is now, you know, so.
That's cool, man. I was going to ask you, because we're talking about, like we're mentioning the word plant-based a lot. You mentioned veganism. You mentioned Maria Cruz's plant-based cuisine. I was going to ask you, like, why should somebody go plant-based? But I think you just talked about all that, right? Like everything you said.
Yeah. And I'm not saying you have to like fully transition like lifestyles. Is just eat more fruits and vegetables. Like that's it. Like your plate, like, you know, your round plate can consist of like half of your plate has to always be like greens, you know, fruits, vegetables, mainly raw, you know, like, so like a salad, you know, salad, raw carrots, tomatoes, like something fresh. And then if you are a carnivore, like maybe like a quarter of that, you know, we learned all this in school, but then you eat like a full on steak that's like the size of your plate, you know? And then people wonder whether it's, you know, like meat gets stuck in your digestive tract. Like if you don't, if it's okay if you eat it, but don't eat it every day and in like high amounts, because like it takes so long for it to like be digested. There's been cases of, I don't remember what this singer dude was, but it's they opened up his stomach and he had like like a beer belly, like a big belly.
Yeah.
And his stomach was full of like, I don't know how many pounds of meat that was like stuck in there in his digestive tract.
Really?
So the beer belly, like that's not normal in men. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a
it
little,
shouldn't be
like a
there.
little puff is okay, but like the big belly, like it's not normal. And
Yeah.
if you like, I see my tios, like I see, my family, and it's like, dude, like I want to give them juices like fast,
Everybody laughs
like,
about it though,
and
right?
and they don't
it's
get
a good
it.
joke, like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I look like
Yeah,
Santa
yeah,
Claus.
yeah. And they don't get it. But it's cultural, like I said. So you
It
see your
is.
tío like that, you see your dad like that, you see your grandpa like that. It's like, oh, this is normal.
Especially those older men. man.
Yes.
Those are the hardest.
But it's
like,
not
for
normal,
anything.
So, but give me one of those old men and take him to Maria Cruz, and like I said, we will turn him.
But don't tell him.
If
right?
I don't tell him, but we will
Okay.
turn him into a believer.
That's funny. And like I said, like we're not like my family, like we're not even vegan. A lot of us aren't. And so we're talking about this in the context of plant-based food, but I want to ask you, like, how do you get, and just in general, there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different contexts, but like, how do you get someone to try something new? And you have a really difficult one in the Valley because you're asking like people that are just ingrained, like that they love their fajita, their bistec tacos. How do you convince someone to try something different? That's not easy.
Well, definitely marketing.
Okay.
Marketing your products. We had a hard, like, I'm going to tell you that you have to offer something good, and it doesn't matter where you're at. People will go and follow that product. Like, it doesn't matter. So my market obviously was, I guess, not that it was better, but I just had more clients that they had like a healthier mindset, in the north side of McAllen, coming to downtown where you see like hot Cheeto stands, like
True,
every
yeah.
corner, like nachos and the burgers and all of that. The change in the market was a little more difficult. So it took us about like a year and a half, 2 years to bring people around again. So that's like step one. You do that through, marketing, taking awesome pictures of your products, posting them, like allowing people to see the product without even trying it. And because we're all visual, right? So that's one way of convincing them.
Because you're marketing to people that eat meat, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So
you're not just trying to talk to the people that are
no.
in that.
I want everybody to try it. Like,
Okay.
I'm not just talking, like most vegans in the RGV, they cook at home, right? Like I mainly cook at home. Like we all cook at home. So
Yeah.
this food is for everybody to try. Like I want everybody to try the deliciousness that we can provide through plants. Like this is just plants,
Yeah, and you run the marketing yourself?
Yeah.
So you do everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
How? How do you do
you're a
everything?
business owner. You have. I mean, I do anything from like this. I wake up this morning. We get there, clean the entire place, like prep. Take
you there every day?
orders. I'm there every day, not all day, but I'm there every morning. Like I set up the vibe for everybody every morning. Clean
You set
the
up the
space.
vibe?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Like,
Yeah.
what's the vibe? What's the vibe?
The vibe of Maria Cruz is always positive. Like I can tell you, I am super blessed to have people that help me that genuinely love what I do and that love to be around me. I've always been I'm going to tell you, if you go plant-based, you're going to turn very positive. Like I have no idea what it does to your brain, like scientifically, but you just become like a more lighter person. Like I don't know how to explain it. But I've always been about like positivity and like, self-improvement, love, and empowering others around me. So I think that's why I've had the same help. I mean, my kitchen aide has been there with me for like the past 5-6 years.
Really?
Like the people in the front have been with me for like 5-6 years. So I'm super blessed to be surrounded by people
Stick around then.
that would like to stick around and
That
be
speaks for
around me.
itself. Yeah.
I like to treat them right. Like you treat your staff right, they're going to treat your employees right. Your business is going to run good. So yeah, I think the vibe is always a positive one. If you walk around the kitchen, you're gonna hear us like laughing. You're gonna hear us like just we're always laughing and cracking jokes. And yeah, the moment there's something off that I feel, I always like, communicate or like ask everybody if everybody's good. How can I help you? I don't expect them to be there, helping me out at the shop their entire lives.
Yeah.
They choose to be there, and even my staff that has left, they always send me messages like, hey, I just want to tell you that you were a really, awesome boss. I love to work with you. You empowered me, so you're always going to get good vibes there. And if you don't, let me know because I will talk to them.
And what is being an awesome boss?
Taking care of your staff, like
Okay.
mainly. I never see it as I'm here to boss you around, I'm never like that. Like to me, I'm an equal with everybody. Like I said, I do the same thing that everybody does. Like
Okay.
it's not like I'm just gonna show up and hey, make me, my breakfast platter and make me my juice. I'm gonna sit here and just you know what I mean?
Like the difference between leader and boss, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You've all seen that on social media. Like the leader's actually there with them on the front
so
line.
I'm there in the front line. Like I see dishes piled up, I'm gonna get in there and like, and if I'm not there, I have my camera and I'm always on the camera. Like, okay, how's the flow going? Because
Yeah.
it looked like it's super busy. I'm gonna like run from my house to the shop and like help them out, you know?
Really?
So
Wow.
that's the type of person that I am. Like if I see my business is struggling in a way and I'm there or I can help it in a way, then I'm gonna be there,
That's cool. So are you also into plants? Because there's a bunch of them at your
Yes.
is that you? Is that all you?
Yeah, and my suegra.
And your suegra?
Yeah,
Okay.
my sister-in-law, she sent the maceteros and everything from Philadelphia. So
Oh, wow.
she sends me plants. I don't know where she gets them, like from Florida, but she
You
just
just
sends
get 'em.
me. Yeah, and then my mother-in-law, she puts some, in the pots, and if there's one or two dying, she'll go and like, hey, I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna, replant them for you. So yes, I'm just very blessed to be around a lot of people that generally want to see me win and care for me, and not only for me, but like my shop and everything around me.
That's cool, man. It's impressive that you're like a one woman like management and ownership. That's because like you said, you do everything. Like you do like you decorate the place, you design the vibe, like you said,
Yeah.
the culture. That's not easy to do,
Yeah.
man. For like
I'm a
especially for one
Capricorn.
person.
I'm a Capricorn, so I do it all. Just kidding.
So there we go. No, but I mean, you kind of have to, right? You kind of have to do it all, like in a sense.
You have to. I mean, I like to because
Did you know what ownership was before you got into it?
I never knew. I never thought. I never saw me running a restaurant. I never saw me like when I was young. I wanted to be in fashion. So
Is that what you went to school for?
no.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're talking like,
So let me tell you what I went to school for. I did architecture. I did interior design. I did dentistry.
oh, okay.
I did marketing and business, and then I did a yoga course at RGV for like a weekend thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm a yogi now. I'm gonna open a yoga studio with a juice bar in the back, and then that's how it all started. Like, I'm a yogi now.
Did you
Like,
do that? Did you? Like,
Yes,
Healing Factory had a yoga?
that was number one. Healing was on McAllen. And it was a yoga studio in the front with a little mini juice bar in the back. Like, that's how I started.
Oh, so like
Yeah.
the main, like people were mainly showing up for yoga.
Yeah. In the very, very first one. Yeah.
So yoga with a juice bar.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's
how
how I
long,
started
how long
selling
did
it.
that go?
That was 2015, back in 2015.
Okay. So you've had several little.
Yeah. That was the first Healing Factory. And then I opened on 10th Street, which was like, it was a juice bar. Just there was no more yoga. I would
Oh, okay.
still host community events because we were right in front of Bishop Park.
Oh, okay.
So I
Yeah.
would still host events, like juice and yoga. So, or yoga and smoothie, come do yoga and we'll do yoga in the park and then walk and you get your smoothie. So those are the things that I miss the most,
Mm-hmm.
from the healing. because in Maria Cruz, there's no like parks nearby, so I can't really
you're
do.
down. But you still do like
Oh yeah. No,
community group stuff.
I'm
right?
all about I'm all about bringing people together. Like whether you want to come together or not, well, that's on you. But
I saw that you had like a potluck last year.
yeah,
one
we
time.
do potlucks. Yeah, we want to invite people that are not vegan so they can actually try the foods. But it's mainly vegans that go, which
Yeah,
I
I mean,
love.
yeah.
I love meeting all the vegans from here. I love it when they tell me that they love my food, and. So yeah, I'm very proud of what I've built. Of course, it hasn't just been me; it's like my entire team behind me. But yes, I am the main creator.
That's cool. And that must be like the ultimate compliment when they tell you they like your food. If they're like always eating at home, if they're
yes.
cooking their own foods and then they eat, like they're willing to
Yeah.
take what you have and then they love it, like that must feel really good.
Yeah.
And you come up with a menu too, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned that?
Yeah,
Dang,
sometimes
man.
I have like, oh my God, moments like where I'm in the kitchen and I'm like I tell my husband, like, oh my gosh, like who would have thought like my own food, like what I make at home for myself, like people would
true.
love it,
Yeah.
So
Like
yeah,
one
it's
day you
pretty
were just
impressive.
eating this like for dinner, right? And then
Yes.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
like you have a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like people are like paying to order it. Like what? Like you want that? You could have
Yeah,
gone anywhere else.
and our menu is very very like it's crazy. We have anything you can think of. I mean, waffles, pancakes, like just anything.
Yeah, I saw that you had like entomatadas and enchiladas
Yeah,
and stuff.
birria
like that.
tacos, like anything mushroom.
Which is good because you're downtown, right?
Mm-hmm,
So you kind of have to have like the taco. I hadn't thought about that. Like you put
Yeah.
yourself like in the
No, and not only that, like okay, imagine opening a vegan restaurant in the valley where 0.0000 point I don't know, like 3% is like
Yeah.
vegans here. So yeah, like you said, it took a lot for me to convince people, but you do it by providing a good product, because as long as you have a good product, it does not matter if you're like in the middle of earth, people will go and like find you.
and they did.
And they
that,
did.
That's good. Like that's good to listen to, or like for people that are like in any business, because like this is a pretty unique challenge. Like you
Right.
said, we're in the valley. Like we can't deny it. And then like you said also, the rates of like metabolic syndrome, like obesity, we're at the poverty line.
Diabetes,
And you really had your back against the wall. But you I think a part of it too is like what we see when small businesses, like when they succeed, a lot of it is like they just truly love what they're doing, right? Or they like there's like a reason for it. Like you knew why you were doing this. Like you
Yeah.
had already experienced it yourself. So like you already convinced enough that you could convince someone else. So like nothing was gonna stop you type
Right.
deal.
Yeah, I mean,
The drive, right? Like you had the drive.
I can open like now I can seriously tell you I can open any like restaurant type of business, but it's not about that, it's about like I wanted to sell something that is generally going to help someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 'cause it's not just the food, it's
I
the
can
lifestyle.
I can sell nachos, I can sell you fast food. I can sell you anything, but is like, am I really contributing positively to the world? That's what I ask myself. Like,
yeah, I see
like
what you're
I can do
saying.
all that, but like this is what I want to do because I'm helping people. Like not only am I helping people feel better, look better, but I'm helping the animals, the environment. So it's just like an overall thing. This is what I chose to do because
That's
it's like
cool.
killing 3 birds with 1 stone. So
Yeah, because like Maria Cruz is not just a restaurant. Like it's an idea. It's like it's a lifestyle, right? So
Right.
you're selling a lot more than a plate of food. Like you're selling like
a cruelty-free living.
yeah. But you're also selling like a plate of like new like change, right? You're selling change. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Because that's like so deep. We hadn't really thought about it
Yeah.
that way. And like I said, I mean, a lot of us don't know about this stuff. Like unless we're exposed to it or like we find it through like maybe like our doctor told us we have to cut something out.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily something that's just like in our face all the time, like eating plant-based. I think it has been a little bit more now, like recently, like
It's more commercialized.
yeah, like nationally and so in the US, yeah, you see a lot of you hear more about like adding more fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, or eating better. But it's everything takes longer to get to the valley.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. That's why you have to be want to step up and like bring it here. Because I mean, like I said, if there's no outlets for something and the idea comes to your mind, like hop into it, you know, especially because people need it, like people want it. And if they don't have access to it, then provide the access to them.
Okay. Do you still do yoga or not?
I do, yeah.
You do?
I do, yeah.
What
I
was
don't
the
teach.
reason-
I don't teach classes.
Why did that stop?
I got more focused on like the restaurant. It was just like I said, since I do it all. Sometimes you do get burned out, and your passion can be like, you know.
Because you were teaching the class, right?
Yeah. But I don't teach it anymore. I practice it. Like it's something that I do on my own. Sometimes I go and take classes. But yeah, it's why do yoga? Because it makes you feel amazing. I love to talk about like energy, and I love like, you know, health and all of that. So it's just things that go hand by hand, that make you feel better. Like there's no other way. You just feel better. Stretching, of course, makes you feel good. Like it's just active, like being active and being mindful of what you eat and what you want to consume. And if you want to feel good, you know, because in the end, the choice is yours. I mean, we all have, I mean, you can make the choice every single day. Like, do I want to wake up? Do I want to exercise? Do I want to feel good? Do I want to leave? Like, do I want to live a healthy lifestyle? Do I want to live, you know, longer? Do I want to provide, you know, this for my family? And like I said, sometimes excuses is like, well, I don't have time. I don't have this. I'm like, you have time to scroll on Instagram. You have time to, you know, watch TV. You have time to do that. You have 20 minutes to be a little bit active. Do a little jumping jacks in front of your yard. Oh, it's because I don't have money for the gym. Go to the back of your house, like work out in the living room. Like you have access to like fitness videos on your phone, you know. You have access to the world at the palm of your hands with your phone. So if you're not using it in your favor, then that's on you, you know. But I mean, the tools are there. Everybody has. I'm not the only business that provides healthy, you know, foods. There are plenty of other vegan places. There are plenty of other like meal preps businesses, other
Juicy
juice
places.
bars,
Yeah.
you know. So that it's there now. Like we have it all. Maybe back when I started, it was very, you know, there wasn't a lot of that.
It's rare.
But now there are so many options, so many alternatives. Like in the end, the choice is going to be yours. You know, like, do you want to live a healthy, long lifestyle, you know, healthy, where you feel good, you know?
Was that something that you went through? Like you hit like a crossroads? Because you
Oh,
said
yeah.
you lost like 30 pounds, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like everything you're saying, like you put that on yourself at one point too.
Yeah. No, I mean, I teach what I teach because I've been through it. Like it's been personal experience. And that's how I think that's how all teachers are, or like how all people, like they preach on their passion or on whatever it is that they want to do because they lived it themselves.
The
you
good
know?
teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you experienced the same thing. I would just want to ask you, what time do you start your day? Because we're talking about all these things you do. I'm just wondering, what time do you
I wake up. I'm up by 6. Like,
Okay.
Like
Always?
my body already like wakes me up. I try to do 5. Sometimes I don't. But 6 a.m. for sure. Wake up, take a jog, come back, and then go to Maria Cruz.
You jog in the morning?
Every
before work?
morning, yes. Well, recently, like I said, it took me a while to come back. But like I said, once you pick up on the habit again, it's like, I feel good. And like the pants that I'm wearing right now weren't fitting me like, you know, like in December, and now they fit me.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
congratulations.
you know what I
Heck
mean? So
yeah.
it's just like a matter of choices, and like a matter of like, hey, like, yeah, like I'm tired of feeling this way. Like, and you know, like you sometimes, like you said, you have to hit that rock bottom when you're like, maybe. And like I said, once your body starts telling you, eight,
Knock, yeah.
knock. So that's when you have to respond like immediately before it gets even worse. You know, like pay attention to your body when it's just like pulling you.
Yeah.
Before like, hey,
Yeah.
let's go. Now you have to go to the doctor, you know? Like, oh, you're not paying attention? Okay, now you're going to the doctor.
Before the pants don't even fit at all.
Yeah, yes. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I hear you.
if you want to
That's
change
true.
your life, like get clear with yourself, you know, and you have to adapt healthy habits. Like
That's
it's
cool.
just, and it's crazy that natural foods, I would like, you have to eat healthy. Like, no, that's the real food that we should all be eating, since you know
That's
what I
true,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
the other stuff didn't even exist.
like
before,
imagine.
right?
Yes, like
Yeah.
cereal boxes, or like a bunch of granolas, or like the process. Everything is extremely processed, you know. So back to the foods.
You're opening our eyes right now.
If the ingredients are, like peroxide, like, I don't know, like weird words that you can like what it was, words that you can't even pronounce, like don't eat it. Like,
don't even know.
Don't even do it. Like
food?
you're better off just, But it's so hard because we're so conditioned and we're so programmed and advertising and marketing
society, culture.
and blah, 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 blah. We get like, plastered with all these, products and, energy drinks and this and that. Why are we drinking energy drinks? Like you should always have just like your natural energy. You know what I mean? Like, if,
That's true. Man, these are little things that like, it sounds simple, but we don't even think about that. We don't realize that that's an issue.
Like sodas, sodas. Like you say, Coca-Cola. Everybody loves Coca-Cola here.
Yeah.
Like it's a cultural thing. So you have to be the person that changes that in your family. If you care, if you want change. If not, then pues síguele.
Yeah, I hear you. That's cool. Like, that's why I like these conversations because we found a restaurant. It was called Maria Cruz, and we liked it, but we didn't realize how deep like your mission was, or like that you're selling like change of lifestyle versus just like a plate that tastes good, and it does taste good too.
Yeah.
I'll clarify that it's really. I was telling you earlier. I had like I just randomly ordered like, oh, I'll try this. It's like that baking soda with lemon.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this feels kind of nice. Like it felt kind of like inside. It was.
It's the most powerful, affordable. Can I say it? Yeah. Do y'all want it? So it's 1 cup of water.
You have to know.
It's like 1 cup of water, 2 limes, like the small green limes, and a teaspoon of baking soda. Every morning on an empty stomach, if you have digestive tract issues, if you can't go to the restroom, if you don't have energy, that's like the easiest, you're probably going to pay less than $1. The baking soda is probably like 90 some cents, maybe like $1 and some right now. And then like 2 limes, imagine. So under $3, you can start changing your life. Like just drink that every morning on an empty stomach. And when do you stop drinking it? Once you feel like your stomach is regulated again, like you're going to the restroom again. And like, a lot of us are full of teeth. So that affects you a lot. Like not going to the restroom. Like it's it's like an odd subject, but it's such a powerful thing. Like
it's necessary.
It's necessary. Like you have to regulate it. Like you have to know your body. Like you have to connect with yourself. Like and it's weird. Like you have to see what's coming out of you. Like we're all full of parasites. We're also detoxing, fasting, healthy eating, like clean eating is like a must nowadays because those parasites can literally like guide you and affect like your brain and change your moods and your like it's just crazy how bad these things are. So that's what's important. Like you just generally want to take care of yourself if you want to, just so that you can spread that around everybody. Because once you lead, like you have to lead by example, I can tell you like all of this, but oh yeah, drink juices, but like why, Well, because it helps you. Like I did it. This is what, this is what I've tried. This is what I've done. I've lived both lifestyles, like the, meat eating lifestyle and the plant-based lifestyle. And to me, the plant-based lifestyle has like extremely worked. Like I don't have any more like bloating, inflammation, like anything like that. Even like for women, this is super powerful. If you have like chronic pain when you experience your period, eat plants 3 days before. Just like a lot of like salads, raw apples, like raw fruits, raw vegetables, and your period is gonna be like so much lighter. Like it's not gonna hurt as much. Rather than if you eat, animal protein like a few days before. I used to do it. I know the difference. It definitely helps. That's something that women like struggle a lot with. And yeah, I've done it. Like I've told it to like my family members, the people that have tried it. Like it's helped them. Yeah. Like a lot. So yeah, that's another tip that I can give. That's good. It's very powerful. Like. It's just, and I'm not saying you have to completely change your lifestyle. Just eat more like plants. That's it. Like don't just eat more plants. Like eat. But again, it's not really for everybody either. So in the end, follow what's true for your body. Some people get, inflammation or bloating from like broccoli or like kale or greens, So sensitivity to there's people that are sensitive to vegetables. Like that's, some people are sensitive to plants. Some people are sensitive to meats, like animal protein. So you have to experiment, like see what works for you.
Listen to your body.
Listen to your body. In the end, like I can give you all the tips and tricks with like, plant-based diet, but in the end, maybe your blood type is not going to allow something, you know what I mean? So it's not a diet for everybody. It's generally, I would probably use it if you're like a meat eater to detox, like to remove it, and then just, add meats every now and then. But
okay.
If you want to
A reset.
detoxify, like a reset, like try it for a week. I always tell everybody, like try plant-based for 3 days, like raw fruits and vegetables, just 3 days. And you're going to see a crazy difference. Like the bloating will go away, inflammation, your belly will automatically reduce. Because sometimes that's all we have. It's just like we're inflamed. You have inflammation,
Yeah.
So illness and disease thrive in an acidic body. And they die and go away when your body is alkalized. So you always want to have a good, pH balanced body. And you do that just by eating, healthy foods overall.
Wow, this is impressive because like we were expecting just to have a conversation in a good restaurant, but we didn't realize this was going to be like such a health-based conversation. But it's just so like it's just part of it, right? You can't have one without the other. It's just intertwined in the lifestyle and in your restaurant. And the cool thing is, like I mentioned, Ali loves it, but she doesn't love it necessarily because it's plant-based. Like she loves it because it just tastes good. And then like on top of that, she knows that it's not gonna like make her feel horrible like after an hour of eating. It's not gonna make her bloated or anything. So that's cool too. Like it's like besides the whole plant-based vegan, like what you have is just a place with good food, right? Like it can be as simple as that, and that's enough to like just try it, right? And also just don't tell your dad.
Yeah.
Just don't tell grandpa. That's cool. Yeah, I mean we can attest to it. We really enjoyed what Maria Cruz has brought, and it hasn't been around too long, huh?
No, I think this is gonna be our 3rd year.
Okay, well it's pretty quick 3 years. Yeah,
very
this time's
quick.
flying, right?
Yes, it has been.
Wow, 3 years, really? Because I guess that makes sense. Because we went when the sign still wasn't.
Yeah, it's
even
like
up.
2021, 2022, 2023. Yeah, like 2 years and a half, maybe.
Wow, that's fast, man. Yeah, because when we went the first time, there was still no sign that said Maria Cruz. It was like a white building, and I was like, well, that's what Google says.
Yeah.
Like, I guess. Like,
Knock,
let's
knock.
see if they have the juice or something. And then we went, and then there was 2 menus. There was two QR codes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I guess we're at the right place. But this thing says Maria Cruz,
Yeah,
and this thing says Maria Cruz, and this thing says like something about the animals. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I mean, we were like downtown.
We're
like,
here.
Yeah, like it was either this or like a taqueria, and I didn't want that. So.
Yeah.
But that was, and what's kept us there is that like it tastes good, and it just happens to be like good for you too, which is cool because it's hard to find that combination.
Yes.
Like for the flavor, it's hard to find that.
No, I can honestly say I don't want to say we're the best, but we are.
You're not gonna say it.
No,
though, right?
I'm not gonna say it, but no, I mean we put a lot of work into our products. We put a lot of passion, and fashion too.
That was one of the things, right?
We put a lot of passion into what we do, and I mean I thrive on my work, I'm very proud of what I've done. And I mean, I'm always about evolution and growing and evolving. So hopefully this year we'll bring something special.
Okay. Ooh, little hint right there. Little hint. And it's only February, so we gotta see what comes. Well, I guess we learned about a new place, Maria Cruz plant-based cuisine. If you haven't been there, you don't even necessarily have to go for all the reasons we talked about. Just go to a new restaurant. And it's a local place. Like we always have to remember that we have to support a community. Like we just have to. Like we're secluded. Like we're 3 hours from San Antonio. We're at the border. Like we have to take care of ourselves.
And small business, like especially restaurants, the food tastes so much better. Like for example, us we don't have like. We don't prep the night before. Like we prep everything fresh every single morning. And that's like, we pride on that because that makes your food taste so much different, fresher. Like it's just way better. So
yeah, that's true. Like your stuff isn't coming from corporate in like Louisiana.
No,
on a big truck.
like we go pick up the produce. We handpick everything. Like we take time to do that. So we know exactly what's going into the foods and we pride on that. It's like, hey, it's good stuff. Like like, so when someone says, I don't know, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why did you like it? Like, I need to know because, we really pride on what we do.
All right. Well, we something new to try. If you guys are like not sure where to go tomorrow or on a Saturday or something, hey, there's a new place in 2.5 years. It's still new.
It's still new. Yeah, a lot of people haven't heard of it.
Yeah. So it's there downtown. It was on 16th Street, right?
Yes. So we are located at 314 South 16th Street, downtown McAllen. It's literally it's around Sacred Heart Church. So right behind Sacred Heart Church, you will find us there.
So if your wife or girlfriend likes plants, if she likes things that are like pretty and like white, like she's gonna love that.
Yeah, our ambience is very chill, very nature based, very simple, but aesthetically nice.
Okay. Well, we gotta go in the morning so we can catch you there, right? Like
yes. Catch me in the morning. Come visit me, guys. I'll make you all your juice. Let me know you're coming. I'm there. I'm there.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. This was really fun. Like I said, we thought this was just gonna be about a good restaurant. It was about good health too. So thanks for opening our eyes and getting us give us a little bit of a smacking, right? We gotta wake up and realize, hey man, like if you have a beer belly, like right, that's not you're not supposed to look. That's not dad bod, right? You're not supposed to look like that.
If you're full of teeth,
yeah, literally.
It's time to detox.
All right. Well, we'll see you. We'll let you go. We know you have a lot going on, but thanks for being here. Thanks for the energy.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me. I really enjoyed it, and good luck on the podcast. I wish nothing but the best for you guys.
Thanks. Well, we got to keep supporting local, right? So we'll see you guys later. Appreciate that. Good night or good morning.